How's it going, everyone? This is episode 7 of the cheapest 9.5 in the US now, and we've got quite a lot of maintenance to do on this car once again today. Now, I know that the last 3 videos on this car have just been maintenance, but that's literally all that's been getting done to it because it needs a lot. Trust me when I say that. As you can tell from the title of today's video though, the big thing we're going to be doing is fluids. Now, I might not be doing the transmission fluid in this video. We'll see how much I get to, but for sure we'll be doing an oil change. We'll also be doing a coolant flush. There's some small things I did off camera between last episode and this one. One of those was cleaning out the sunroof drains, so thank you to the few subscribers that had recommended me doing this. There's 4 drains, there's one at each corner pretty much. I just blew air through the front 2 and then poured water in all 4 of them until water started coming out on the ground. So all 4 of those are good and clear now. One of the power seat buttons on the passenger side was missing and broken, so I grabbed one from the junkyard. I put that in, and then I also vacuumed out the interior and inserted new floor mats that the previous owner had generously sent me out. So I have some floor mats in the car now, which is very nice because before I was just putting my feet all over the very clean carpet. I mean, the floor mats are clean themselves, but it's nice, you know, to use them what they're actually designed for. A few more things I have planned for today besides those couple of fluid changes. We might get around to doing this torque mount that goes between the transmission and the subframe. We'll see about that, depends on what time allows for. I also would like to do this rear AC vent. That is because the current AC vent, it's just pretty much non-existent. So I can't turn off the vents back there, meaning it's constantly blowing air back there even though there's pretty much never a passenger back there, so that's kind of annoying. And then we also have 2 side markers because both of these side markers are broken. The tabs are completely gone and this tape was just kind of used to like hold them in almost, so yeah, very annoying. But with that being said, let's go ahead, swap the cars around, get this thing in the garage, and get to work on some much more needed maintenance. I swear at some point I'll get to doing some of the more exciting stuff on this car. It just has so many like mechanical things that it still needs. Like, I'll eventually be doing a video polishing off or polishing up these headlights and trying to fix this bumper because it likes to keep popping out and the tabs are all broken. Fixing this fog light, which oddly enough the bulb is just hanging out every time I drive and is obviously crushed and no longer usable. So yeah, there's a lot of cosmetic things. That's just a couple things right in this corner of the car here, but eventually we'll get around to that. I want to make sure it works before I stick it back in here. I've decided that before I get all dirty, I'm going to go ahead and do this rear air vent first. So I just pretty much came down here and pulled gently on the bottom on each side, and this just popped out like this. And now, if you carefully kind of slide that up, you'll see there's a T25 bolt holding in the top part of it right there. And then we've got a few connectors right there on the back for the cigarette lighter and the seat heaters. I've been messing with this for about 15 minutes now, and I eventually just pulled it straight up after popping out the 2 bottom clips and it came out. So I guess that's how that's supposed to work. So up at the top here there are 2 T15 screws that hold the air vent in. Well, coincidentally the camera happened to die and I didn't realize it until I finally wrestled this thing out. But there are 2 little tabs right here. You got to kind of like wiggle it around and maneuver it in a certain way to get it unhooked from those down within there. But now we can go ahead and slide a new one in, but as you can see, these arms right here are both broken, so the fan speed knobs don't even work, and obviously the vents themselves are just, I don't even know how this happens. Anyways, poor air vent. I'm sorry, that was mean. Now let's plug everything back in. That just slid back in there super easily. Now we can put our T25 back in that holds this piece on, and we can get on with the dirty work. Let's get some old oil, put it around the edge of the gasket on the new filter. Right, and now, as Scotty Kilmer always recommends, you want to run the car 10 to 15 minutes with the drain plug out. I probably shouldn't put that back in because I know he's a good mechanic and he knows what he's talking about. He said it helps to get the rest of the oil out of the engine, so it's always good to run it with the drain plug out after you've already drained it. Yeah, that oil is pretty dirty for sure. Not surprised though. These 9.5s apparently only take about 4 quarts, 4.1 quarts of oil, which is nice because the NG93s take over 6 quarts. I'm sure a lot of you know that when you're working on your car, it's never as easy as it looks in the videos, and of course I can attest to that. Pretty much every video I do, there is minutes upon minutes of struggling, and I finally got this drain plug loose without breaking it. To drain the coolant properly on these, you can try and remove the lower radiator hose on the other side. I was even messing with that for a while. I couldn't get the hose clamps on because the clamp was facing upwards. But you'll see your green drain plug right there. You're going to need to rotate that about a quarter turn. Right where the coolant is draining out right there, you'll see there's a little hole where you can almost stick your finger in. So what I did was I stuck my finger in one way there, and on the other end of the drain plug I grabbed it from this direction and was able to just like pretty much manhandle it to get it to turn. Because I tried about 6 different pairs of needle nose pliers, vice grips, everything, and I couldn't get it. But now we finally have our incorrect green coolant ever so slowly draining out, and that is very relieving to see because that was a struggle. It appears I might stand corrected. This might actually be Dex Cool. Maybe it's just the tint, this being so dirty. It looked green, and it looked green when it was first coming out, but it's, I don't know, maybe it has some green tint to it, so maybe it's a little bit of Dex Cool, a little bit of green. I don't know, but either way, it's probably best that it gets changed. Ignore the background noise, I swear. Nobody is peeing, it's just the coolant draining out. But another thing I noticed while I was under there is my windshield washer fluid is low. Of course, that's also because it tells me on the dash every time I start the car, so I'm going to top that off as well. See that? 11 minutes ago, I put that on my story. 11 minutes ago, and this is like right after, like this was probably when I was already halfway done. And it's still going. It's just taking forever. And these birds won't shut up. I know there's so much oil and everything under here, but look, it's dripping out green, but then it looks orange down here. So it's got to be a mix of the two or something. So either way, like I said, probably not the worst thing in the world to replace this. Right now I'm going to let the car run because it's supposed to hold almost 8 quarts, I believe, and I only probably put about 4 or 5 quarts worth of fluid in there. So I'm going to let it run and then top it off as it starts to go down. I took the car for a short drive. I'll just be keeping an eye on this coolant level, see if it needs to be topped off over time. So one thing I did while I was letting all the coolant come out was fix this fog light right here, because the housing is just completely, I mean completely broken. All the tabs are broken. The light, literally the wiring harness used to just hang down. So for now I just zip tied it all up and really just held it in the best I could. Doesn't look perfect obviously, but it's better than it was, so that's going to be a repair once I get around to the cosmetic stuff. But for now, it'll hold and it's not going to hang down anything like it was before. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know if you're enjoying these repairs on the 9.5 down below. got plenty more to still do, like I said. So thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and check out my Patreon if you haven't already. It's linked at the top of the description below. And I'll see you all next time.